Big up, people. Welcome back to the channel. Bit of a different one for you tonight. 10 p.m. Friday. Weekend is here. Both me and Lee streaming on both our channels for this one because it's a special one, man. It's the Super Kevin Campbell special. Arsenal versus Everton tomorrow preview, which I think goes without saying, Lee. I'd love to be doing this with Kevin. I think this was always a fixture that we would have absolutely loved to do together. Always liked getting Kevin's opinions on not just Arsenal, but Everton as well, because I know that he was a special place in his heart. And I do feel like he was conflicted a little bit on this fixture. He always wanted Arsenal, but he always felt that Everton were in his heart and that he didn't want to get an absolute hammering from him. So it was always a special one. Listen, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a special day. I think for me, I always look at Everton now, have a bit of a soft spot for them because of Kev. Yeah. So I wanted to do this a little bit of a special one tonight for both of us, really, because the day's kind of come now this week where we always kind of thought it was going to be one to talk about. And I know Goodison have done something, and I expect there to be some sort of memorial tomorrow as well. So what we thinking, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed emotions for me, this one, because obviously, it's going to be a big day, and the Kevin Campbell derby. I love it. That's what it's been sort of said as, and I think that's got to be done forever now. Like it'll always be known as the Kevin Campbell derby, which is special, really, because we're lucky enough to know how he felt about Arsenal and Everton. And he loved both. He was born into Arsenal, and but because I suppose through time of playing for Everton, loved Everton as well, and he had a big respect for them as a football club, as a fan base as well, and his sort of enthusiasm for Everton rubbed off on me a little bit as well, and I've always sort of I know it sounds the fixtures come out, you always look for Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United, Man City maybe now. But this year, I obviously did look at the Man United and the Tottenham one, but then it was the Everton one. When was that like, And I was glad it weren't close. It's been a little while now. But this, this week, because of it's been on, I've been sort of thinking about him a lot more this week.
Yeah.
And obviously Christmas, we always used to go up to Manchester for the weekend, see him and that. So that's going to be tough. And then, of course, in February, it's his birthday. So there's always going to be things. And then, obviously, in April, we're back up at Everton. So there's always going to be things that are going to remind you. And I think, in a way, that's a good thing. I think once the pain of it and all that does go, because I still haven't really got over it, Dan. I still can't believe that it's happened. You look back with fond memories of things, and I got fond memories of where we had it last time we was at Everton, didn't we? When we went in the pub and all that. That is a day that we will never forget. But now Kevin's passed, it just makes that little bit more spiritual and special, don't you think? So so I'm looking forward to the game. I was told today by Everton fans that every time Everton score a goal, they sing his name afterwards, which is unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
So as much as I loved Kevin, I don't want to be hearing him singing that tomorrow. You know what I mean? I want it to be very silent tomorrow, the old Evertonians, the old Toffee boys. But no, I'm looking forward to the game. I know they're doing a few things tomorrow for him and all that. So yeah, special time.
Yeah, it will be, mate. 100% it will be. And I know Arsenal are classy and we always look to do things the right way. And I hope that we continue that tomorrow. I hope that we do recognise it. And to be fair, opposite the Armoury, you can see that already we have got the billboard up of he's one of our own. I think this is superbly.
Unbelievable. When I went there yesterday and had a photo done with it. And I know this sounds silly, but when they had the one at Everton, we went up there and see it, and had it was very, very emotional because it was near. But this one here got me because it's the two clubs that meant the most to him. Arsenal and Everton. They did. Listen, he had a lovely time at West Brom and Nottingham Forest as well. We did, and in Turkey as well. Very fond memories of all the clubs, but. Everton and Arsenal were the two closest, and for them to to put that up is magnificent. If you go across the road under the tunnel, there's a little memorial with him as well, which every time I go past it, I touch the badge on the chest. And yeah, so it's a sort of ritual I do now. But seeing that there yesterday was very, very humbling, like, you know. And of course, I was on my own yesterday as well. I've been to the studio and I was on my own. I thought, like, I need to have a photo with it, like, but you know, if I give, you know, I might give the phone to someone, they might run off of it. I was sort of panicking a little bit, like, so I was looking around to see who, you know, who was trustworthy to do this sort of deed. You know what I mean?
Had to do a selfie otherwise.
Yeah, we can imagine it. I can say a photo that let the next feel like, you know, as quick as I used to be. Like, you know what I mean? So I think Kevin was looking out for me because a young couple come past and like mum and son, and I said, "Oh, do you mind?" And they said, "No worries." So they took it, and hence I got my phone back. You know what I mean? So it was all right. Like, yeah.
Honestly, this is a lovely comment from Canadian Gooner. It says you're doing him a great honour. You blokes are absolute class. He's watching from above, proud to know you were his friends. He's a great person aside from being an excellent pro, and that latter I can't agree with more. It will be a strange feeling tomorrow. I'm obviously a very passionate Gooner and I always want to be passionate when Arsenal play, but it will be a bit of a strange start if I'm honest with you, because obviously we have already sort of had a kind of minutes of applause for Kevin, obviously, at the start of the season. It was a bit of a strange time for his passing because it wasn't during the season. Sometimes, I know it sounds a bit of a strange thing to say, but sometimes it's kind of worse, if that makes sense, because obviously in the summer, people are so busy and football ain't on, is it? So I thought it was really nice that we were able to kind of do that. Tomorrow there will be something that goes on, I'm sure, and it'll be nice to get someone. It just sent me on my phone now saying that perhaps at the 7th and the 9th minute we could clap. I think that's a really good idea, to be fair, because obviously there were two numbers he wore at Arsenal and Everton. I know it's a bit of a, only a couple of minutes apart, but actually that would be quite a nice thing. So it would be quite nice to do something as a fan base. I know the club will put something on, and Everton club will put something on. But you are right in what you say about Everton away, and it will be strange going to Everton away this year because the last time we went there, it was just unbelievable, weren't it? I mean, last year was just ridiculous. I'll never forget that night. And me, you, and Julian going in there. Julian had an Arsenal shirt on, and we were fine because we were with Kev, and they were great with us. I must say, actually, I think, you know what? I don't think we've said this enough, actually, Lee, how good the Everton fans were with us that day. Like they were insanely good, weren't they? Like the minute they saw Kev with us, they were like, right, these three are all right. It's unbelievable, Wednesday.
Yeah, it was the Winslow, and a big up to them, like, and a big up to the Everton fans because they'd lost 1-0. That things weren't going great for them at the time, if you were they, and
no,
we, you know, like me and you didn't have no colours on, so we felt, but you know, like, you're a little bit wary because some people might recognise you and whatever. But Julian had his Arsenal shirt on and was a little bit wary about going in there. Am I going to be all right? You know what I mean? And because, you know, like, you have to, put the picture out there. If it was like us going into, an away fan going into the Solington or the Blackstock or something, they ain't going to be welcomed, Dan. You know what I mean? Like with a top on as well. Like, you know, if someone walks into one of those pubs with a Liverpool shirt on or something, especially
away.
yeah, and especially if you've been beaten as well, you know what I mean? Like, you can be a bit so we, you know, but I knew we was going to be okay. But like, the question was asked, and Kevin just said, "Don't worry, you're with me." And we walked in there, and it was just an unbelievable experience. That, you know, all coming over to us. Kevin was serving pints behind the bar. People coming around talking to him. You know, to be fair, he went off for a little while doing the rounds with all the fans of Everton fans, and we were sort of left on our own a little bit, like, you know. But over they come. There was a big family of about 20 people sitting around a table, all like related and all that. Come sit here, have a chat, asking us how lucky you are. You know, how did you meet Kevin? How comes you're friends with him? Do you know how lucky you are to be his friend and all that? Like, and they made us feel really special, didn't they? Like, special.
Yeah.
Like we was special to be in there, like, and be his mates. And then he come over and we was having a chat and a drink, and people were coming up for asking for photos of all of us, and that, and it, you know, like, it was an incredible experience. We didn't want to go home, did we? Really, like, you know.
No, we didn't.
We was in there for a couple of hours and had a couple of beers, and you know, it was just fantastic. And then when we left, we had a laugh in the car on the way home, and because we had to drop Kevin off. Well, Julian said he'd drop Kevin off to Manchester, so we dropped Kevin off. But we had a laugh on the, back to Manchester, and it was just a great day. And look, listen, probably none of those Everton fans will be listening to this, but if they are,
thank you
for making that. Yeah, thank you for making that a very, very special day. And hopefully, we can go back in April and they remember who we are, and we can play tribute to Kevin even though he's not there. So wonderful people in the pub, and I worry about that pub because with Everton, Goodison Park's closing down, and I wonder what's going to happen to that pub. Hopefully it'll stay there, because Kevin thought the world of the people in there in that pub. It was always, when I first met Kevin, one of the first things he was always saying, can't wait to take you into Winslow. It was one of the things that he wanted to do, So, a great try. That is something there, Harvey. You've just said something that I've never thought I would do, but it's something that I might do, is get a half and half scarf, for this game.
Well, I've never done that before.
I've never done it before, but you know what? I might just go and do that for this game, especially if we win. But I would like to do that, and that's a great thing there. Private box in April or normal. Do you know what? I've been in hospitality at Everton. It's nice, but it's not like the Emirates. But I prefer being with the away fans on away games, I have to say, and that weekend is that we play Everton. Dan, is Grand National weekend.
Cool.
So, wow. I've done that before. I've done the Grand National on the Saturday, and then Everton on the Sunday, So it is great thing, what I mean. So
I remember going to Burnley away and watching it while Arsenal were in the Burnley away. You got that they put in a cricket club.
The cricket ground,
yeah. I remember they put a big TV outside, and we watched it on that, and then. Yeah, that was quite impressive. But I haven't been able to do both, one after the other. But yeah, mate, it's going to be an interesting game. Moving away from that, that will definitely get a mention for sure. Big up to Suj, by the way, who's gifted memberships. Absolute legend, man. This bloke is absolute hero, absolute legend. Thank you so much, man, to give him 5 memberships. You're a hero, Suj, and I hope you're well, my friend. And I hope it's okay over there in Oz. So big up to you, my friend. Let's talk a little bit about the team news that has come up from the press conference. Gabriel available, Calafiori maybe not so. Gabriel coming back is massive, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I wonder what he'd do with that left-hand side. Will he put Kivior out there, or will he go Timber? We were talking about this earlier on. Will he go Timber out there and Party at right back, or will he keep with Miles Skelly? I think Skelly will be probably the last option. If I'll be honest, it'd be one of the three. I think he'd go Party in there, if I'll be honest, and Timber to left back. That's what I would probably do. But I think that Timber gives us something more at right back. That's my opinion, and I think that we're going to need to be able to break these down. And I actually would play Skelly in there, because I think he could unlock it from the position that he plays. It'd be really interesting to see what we do there. But for Gabriel to come back, massive. I think that Kivior's done well in the game against Monaco. He done well against West Ham in that half that he came on. I think he was at fault along with other people. I'm not just sticking it on him for the game against Fulham, but other than that, he was okay. But I think that the presence of Gabriel is a good thing, and the physicality is of him and that. And he's been outstanding. But I tell you, Saliba stepped up while he wasn't there. I thought his performances were outstanding. and I don't think we've missed Gabriel as much as I thought we would. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens there. But Gabriel coming back, very, very happy with that.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Look, I'll put what I think the team will be up, because I do think there's an opportunity to look at a couple of options, but I think this is probably what the team is going to be. Some people might disagree. I think Raya in goal. I think it will be Partey at right back and Timber at left back.
Yeah, I do.
Saliba and Gabriel, and then Rice, Marino, Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli. Now there could be a couple of changes because Mikel Arteta does like to surprise. I don't think this is right. And I'll tell you why I don't think this is right. Not that I think it's wrong that the team selection. I think that is what the team will be. But I don't think it's right. I don't think it's well deserved. I think Lewis Skelly deserves to be playing at left back and Timber at right back. And I'd drop Partey. If Partey needs a break, Partey needs a break. He weren't fit at the West Ham game. We need to actually look at what Partey can do to be looking at resting him and not playing him every single time. But this is the team that I would change from this. I would just literally have Timber at right back and Lewis Skelly at left back, and I'm happy with the rest. I don't actually mind Rice, Marino, and Odegaard because I think all three of them are playing in their right position. I don't mind the front three because I think Martinelli, as much as he's struggling at times at the moment, I think with Lewis Skelly and Marino there, I actually think they was flourishing him a little bit more.
Yeah, I
Saka
did.
was phenomenal, you know. And then Havertz comes in for Jesus, and like we were saying off air, Jesus did pretty much what we expected. Nice touches, nice link-up play, little bit of work rate, little bit of press, little bit of work hard, but can't finish his dinner. And I thought Havertz coming on was actually this is why I want a striker, Lee, because Havertz coming on is what I want to change the game, which he did. Brought a different dimension. Perfect. He is the perfect squad player to have, Kai Havertz. But unfortunately, we have to play him every game because the others aren't good enough around him. So that's what I would have changed. What about yourself for the team?
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I think that Havertz proved a point. You know, I don't think he was at it the last two games, but he come on this. So I think that, you know, we was not at the same danger of losing that game, but we weren't in control of that game. He come on, we got control back of that game because someone was holding the ball up and everything. Now, as we said, I thought Jesus done well. Listen, the left-hand side's becoming a problem now because I thought that Martinelli done okay on Wednesday. I thought he played all right, to be fair. But after 60-odd minutes, he's coming off. But very, very fortunate that he didn't get sent off, Dan. And you could look at it and the manager's gone, right, well, he's on a booking, so I'm going to take him off. That's why he's come off. I thought that was fair. But if that was the case, Marino might have been another substitution instead of Rice. But it was obviously like Rice was being rested for the weekend. I don't really look at it and say that you can say that about Martinelli. Was it guaranteed that he was resting him for the weekend? So it wouldn't surprise me if Trossard comes in there. It wouldn't, Dan. It really wouldn't. But I would go with Martinelli or even Jesus out there because I think Jesus, you know, look at that set up for the goal was very, very good. He is a good footballer, Jesus, you know, and he just... he's an absolutely outstanding footballer, and then he's a Sunday morning player when it comes in front of goal. He really is, Dan. You know what I mean? Like I think I was a better finisher than him. I'm a better finisher than him. You know what I mean? Like I just can't finish for toffee. But and I think that maybe, you know, like playing him out on the wing might not be a bad thing, really. Like, you know, I would go Martinelli, but if not, I would go Jesus. You know, I don't know where this leaves Sterling. I don't know. I suppose he'll play Wednesday. It'd be interesting to see what they do Wednesday with the front three. What three it will be? Will it be Trossard, Jesus? Probably would be two of them, wouldn't it? Like, you know, and Sterling would probably be on the right. Would you think that would be the one for Wednesday? I probably would be. But yeah, so I would start Martinelli. I'm not got no problems with that midfield. I thought it was okay, the midfield. I thought like it was a lot more balance to it. But I just know that when it comes to the team needs to come out and it'll go Raya and then it'll be Thomas Partey. I guarantee it, like, you know what I mean? And I don't think it should be. If Thomas Partey has been needing a little bit of a break, would it be the end of the world to leave him out of Everton and Crystal Palace and get him ready make sure that he's 100% ready for the Crystal Palace game in the league? I don't know.
Well, look, I like the fact that we've got some options again now. Big up to Sophie, by the way, from Harvey Squad, legend. Make sure you go check out the show from earlier with Judges and Soph and the guys from Toffee TV. And make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe. Look, I don't think it's a problem to rest Thomas Partey. I don't. And I like Thomas Partey. I think he's one of our best players. But right now, I think you either. I'll be brutal with you, right? I think we have to play Partey or Rice, not Partey and Rice. I don't like Rice in the 8. He's not left-footed. He looks uncomfortable there. I don't think he does a box-to-box role. I don't think it works. I don't think he looks comfortable there. Marino, I actually think looks okay there because I think that is his natural position. And Partey wouldn't look good there. He can only play in the 6. So that for me means that when I went into this season, Lee, I was like, right, we've got Rice in the 6 and we've got Partey as backup. And I think that's what we need to look at. And if people think that Partey deserves to start, I would drop Rice. And people won't like that because people are going, no, you've got to put Rice in. He was 105 million. You're going to have to just force him into that role and just hope he does all right there. Now, he has looked a bit better there in the last few because obviously he's been a bit fitter and he's had a bit of a rest. I still don't like him there, Lee. I think we're completely wasting his attributes, all of them, by playing him in that role. So I think we have to say to Partey, you're a backup player, really, mate, but you're doing well at the moment, but you're going to rest out for this one. Or you need to say to Rice, I know you're 105 million, but you're not better than Partey in the 6. So we're going to have to drop you out of the team. It's a very hard decision, isn't it? Very hard.
Yeah, I get that. Do you know what? I think that if and I don't understand why I don't do this at times. If Declan Rice was playing that position but down the right, it would be better for him because he wouldn't be cutting in on his right foot. You know what I mean? We're looking to play him. I don't mind him in that role. I actually quite like him in the box-to-box role, but I do think at times he's just too much out on the left-hand side. Would like him to be box-to-box centrally, really. But I have to say, I felt that I liked his performance on Wednesday night. I thought he moved the ball a little bit quicker. But, you know, but Thomas Partey can break the lines fantastically well, Dan. You know, I don't think there's many players break the lines better than Thomas Partey, if I'll be honest. So, you know, listen, I think I'm with you on this one at this moment in time. It just balances everything up with Marino being in there because it just gives you that little bit more fluency on the left-hand side. All of a sudden, I felt we looked a little bit more dangerous on the left side, and the goal come from the left-hand side, the first goal with the all-important goal, because we had balance in there. We weren't having players trying to shift it onto their right foot, whether it be Timber or Rice. It was like Skelly or Marino. So, and I thought Marino done okay, Dan. People have been sort of saying that he didn't.
Thought he was good midweek.
I did.
Him. Yeah.
I felt very surprised by that.
I mean, it wasn't like outstanding, but
no.
He's the best left 8 that we've got. In fact, I mean, it was a questionnaire actually. I think that a couple of people had, which was, have we only got one number 8? Yeah, I think we kind of have, really. If I'm honest, maybe Ethan is the one that I would say could play there. But I'm looking at it right now, thinking Marino's the best we've got, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I went into last season thinking, can't wait to see Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And if I'm honest with you, that's the one I wouldn't want to see now. I'd rather see Partey, Marino, and Odegaard, or Rice, Marino, and Odegaard.
I still think it can work. I won't, but do you know what? I know it's games like this, Dan. I don't know how you feel about this. Like, you know, hear me out on this. Like, you know, Everton are going to be really defensive tomorrow. I would imagine that they are. Like, you know, I'm no. You know, if I'm putting a betting man, I'm putting it on there. Like, you know, banks are 4. I wouldn't be a miss if I see Rice in the holding role, Odegaard and Wanyeri.
Same. I'd love to see it. Because Everton, you don't need to win that midfield battle against Everton because they know their tactics. Their tactics are going to be similar to how we've been setting up the last few weeks, which is lump balls into the box on set pieces and hope you get one that goes in. That's how Dyche plays, isn't it? He don't play this free-flowing football. Mm-hmm. So in midfield, you should be able to win that midfield with Wanyeri, Odegaard, and Marie and Rice. But do you know what? some people have said, I think James might have even mentioned this. It might even be some games, you don't want to move it around too much, where Odegaard can drop a bit deeper and let Ethan push forward a bit more. There might even be some times where you do that. So I think we have got different options in there. And there's definitely one that he does like playing Partey, Rice and Odegaard, I think. I mean, I think his future is Rice, Marino, Odegaard. That's what I think it is. But at the moment, with Partey still playing well, I think he's there. But look, tomorrow he ain't going to play Partey in the middle. They're all going to play because Partey's going to go right back in.
Yeah. He shouldn't do though, Dan. I ain't got a problem with it Wednesday night because the options weren't there so much. He wanted to give Timber a break. I get that. He's played more football than he should have done, Dan. And the reason we know that is because of the injuries. So, he felt that he needed to give him a break. So I was happy with that. Interesting, though, that he felt that he needed to bring him on or brought him on and didn't bring Tierney on. If you wanted a Timber to rest completely, why didn't you just keep him out of the whole thing? I don't know. But, but anyway, he's rested. So he's going to come back in the team because he's, whether it be left back or right. But I think he's got a choice tomorrow. He's got a choice tomorrow to play a proper right back and a proper left back. No need to put a midfield player in there tomorrow, really. I don't see the need to do it, but he will do it because it means that Thomas Partey can play, and that's when I don't like it. I'm with you. Ideally, you either play him in his normal position or you leave him out. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say. I know it's professional football, but if that was any other thing, what's your reward for helping the team out by playing right back or whatever? I'll drop you for the next game, So if he's playing on a Sunday morning and you can play in a couple of positions, you know what I mean? I'll do us a favour, you can play out there or whatever. I was fortunate I could play in different positions, but there were a couple of times. I remember my manager saying we ain't got a left winger today. Lee, I know it ain't your role, but you can do a job out there. Just do it for me. I can trust you to do that job. You know what I mean? So I went out the left wing for a couple of games. And then if he said in the next 2 games, the left winger's back, he says, the midfield player's been playing so well, Lee, I'm dropping you, leaving you out. I would have done me nut with him, So to do that to him at right back and then say, all right, you dropped. So I know you can change it. You can be a bit careful about it and say, oh, well, I'm resting you for this game, because we've got a quarter final on Wednesday and a bigger game than the next Saturday. I don't know, you know what I mean? It'd be really interesting tomorrow, the team selection. I think tomorrow, Dan, we're going to know a little bit about Mikel. I'm in the thing, if you... There's a lot of people don't believe in Mikel at this moment in time. And I'm still in that camp. But if he was to go Timber at right back, Skelly at left back, right, I would turn around and go, do you know, I'm backing this. I believe in this manager. He's got the balls to take us to figure. But I think if he was to say, I'm leaving them out and playing Partey in there, it's an easy option for him tomorrow. I think if he goes for the easy option, you know what I mean? As Adam says, I think it is, you know what I mean? It's a safe option tomorrow. And sometimes a safe option is not the right option, as it wasn't at Fulham last week. I remember going to Fulham last week before the game when I see that team sheet.
Yeah, I remember.
I weren't happy. I said, I'm not happy with that.
I remember walking down with you and you said it. I remember.
Yeah, I'm not happy with it. And I said, but, so listen, if it happens again, and I will turn around and still say that I'm not happy with it. But, listen, he done it on Wednesday and it worked. So, you have to give him credit for that,
Yeah, look, I don't like the fact that he don't trust a lot of his squad still. That's what I don't like. I wanted to see that change this season, Lee. I really wanted to see that change. That was one thing I want. People say, don't learn from mistakes. I sometimes think people are a bit harsh with that because I think he has learned from some of the mistakes, but he ain't learned from all. And that's one of them he has not learned with. No. Last season, he would not bring Reece Nelson on. He would not bring or trust in Fabi Vieira. He would not trust in XYZ. This season, he don't trust in any of his left backs other than playing Timber over his right back over there. He's got them all sitting on the bench. Kieran Tierney's one of them, He's obviously then got the issue with Sterling. He does not trust Raheem Sterling. He doesn't want to play him, doesn't want to bring him on at all. Literally does not want to use him. And then I've got to be honest with you. I think he's made a mistake with Ethan and Miles Lewis-Skelly because they've both been sitting there. And I know this is easy to say now in hindsight, and we don't know the answer to it, Lee. But I'll ask you it. If he would have played Ethan Nwaneri when Odegaard was injured, and if he would have trusted Lewis-Skelly at left back by playing Timber at right back more so Partey could be available in midfield, would we have more points on the board now, do you think? Yes or no? Very hard to say whether we would or not.
I don't think it's very hard to say. I think it says yes. I think if he plays, so I think someone just said in the chat, why didn't he play Skelly on Sunday? Because the reason why he didn't play him on Sunday is because, and he played him on Wednesday, because the option had been taken away from him, from Timber. Timber was available. You know what I mean? I don't think Timber was, through medical, they might have said, look, he needs a little bit of a breather. So it was forced on him a little bit. I think it was AFC Always that said it like, you know what I mean? So it was forced on him. That's why he didn't do it. It was a choice on Sunday, and there wasn't a choice on Wednesday. So he was sort of forced to do it. He had to play either play Skelly or Tierney in there, and he chose Skelly. It was the right decision. You know what I mean? Done very, very well. I think we go on and win that game, because I'll tell you what, as a left back, I think Skelly would have been in there to cut out the pass in the first place, because our left back was playing, I don't know where Timber was at that moment in time. Might have been playing right wing, I don't know. He was everywhere but where he should be for that goal, in my opinion. I'm not having a go at him. He's told to go there, but he wasn't in the left back position. He just cuts it out if he was. So I think we'd have gone on and won that. There's no way we would have been so blunt and crap against Newcastle if Nwaneri was playing in that team. That was a blunt performance. So I would say that would be it. The other games I'm not so sure on, Dan. I think you're looking at drop points against Brighton. That was because of the sending offs. Bournemouth. Maybe could have gone for it a little bit. I know, and the people will say this on the Bournemouth game. You know what I mean? Oh, Arsenal should have gone for it a little bit more. Like, Bournemouth have proved to be a very, very difficult team to play down there, and we had to go there for over 45 or 60 odd minutes. Was it 50 odd minutes playing with 10 men? So that was always difficult. So I think we wouldn't have lost to. I think we'd have probably 3-4 more points. If you look at that, another 3 or 4 points on top of what you got now, you'd be still behind Liverpool.
Five behind Liverpool.
Which is about right, because Liverpool have been exceptional, Dan.
They've been exceptional, mate. They have.
They've been exceptional.
You look at it now. Excuse me. You look at it now, and I think Ethan Nwaneri coming into the mix when we were sticking with Trossard and nothing was happening, that would have given us that little bit of edge. Whether it would have given us a few more points, I don't know. The only games I can say that I don't think it would have affected is Newcastle, because that was the whole team were awful that day. I don't think there was anyone that played well, if I'm honest with you. And other than that, I think we could have done more in all of them. Because I look at it now, the Liverpool game where we dropped points, I think we have a fully fit back line, and I think
we win that game. Yeah,
I think we win that game. The Man City game and the Brighton game, and the Bournemouth game, I don't really know, because we had 10 men. So I know people will say we played bad and it weren't 10 men that lost us game. The 10 men then made it very, very hard to take 3 points. Whether you believe it was sendings offs or not is another decision. I don't want to go into that again. But for me, those 3 games, I don't think we can say we deserved to win any of them, because we were down to 10 men. It was bloody hardly, right? But I think Fulham at the weekend, I think we would have picked up 3 points with better team selection. I definitely think we would have picked up more points against Liverpool. I think we probably would have picked up points, if I'm honest with you, against Chelsea. So I look at it now and I think, maybe Mikel Arteta should have put a bit more trust with Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, because when that transfer window shut and we started carting people out, we expected something big to happen. We didn't think it was going to be Raheem Sterling, right? And the reason that we went, oh, blimey, tell you what, this Ethan Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly, he must really fancy them two, because he's kept them in. They've been promoted to the first team. We're short. They're going to have to play. and he ain't trusted him to play, Lee. This is what's frustrated me. So I don't know
there is a
why.
little bit of
I don't
that.
know what he's doing there. Is what I'm getting at. I don't know what he's doing there.
No.
You either keep Smith Rowe and play Smith Rowe, or you sell Smith Rowe and play Ethan Waneri. You don't sell Smith Rowe and then try and think, right, who can I play there then? Oh no, it can't be Ethan. Crikey, I didn't think about this, did I? Trossard will have to do it. Trossard, go on in. Trossard. Then it's gone wrong,
I do think that sometimes, and like you can't pre-plan everything, but I think that the method in it was that perhaps like between that build him up in this first team, and then like he'd be ready to play probably like around about now, like which is what he is getting more sort of time. I don't think they really thought that the injury to Odegaard was going to happen, but you've got to cover all bases, and I don't think that we did cover all bases there. Like if I'd be really honest, and maybe for one or two games we did with Trossard coming there. We don't forget we gone to Spurs with a really, really depleted team. When you look back at that, no Rice, no Odegaard that day. I had to play Jorginho in there, and we got the job done with Trossard in there. So I think Aston Villa, I think. I'm pretty sure Odegaard played in that one, if I remember rightly. But we've covered it on a couple of occasions, not on others. So I felt that there was a little bit of a mistake on that, and probably thinking that by the end of Christmas, going into the new year, Waneri would be up to scratch to play a lot more games. I noticed in the last 3 or 4 games in particular, he's been getting a little bit more time, because he has been sort of rotating him off with Odegaard. Be interested to see what happens on Wednesday. See if he whether he'll play, but whether he plays in that Odegaard role. I think it will come down to it will come down to fine margins, Dan. And I just think that for me, I'd have given. Listen, Waneri for me, I felt done enough in the League Cup games. I know they're only League Cup games, but he'd done enough in there to convince me that he could do the job. Well, I don't see him every day, week in, week out, training and all that. We don't really know what goes on. I think even there was talk that Lewis Skelly wasn't even 100% fit for Sunday because of a little knock or that. Certainly Josh Nichols was out as well, another one. So I don't know, I do think that there is a little bit of lack of trust in those guys, and that will probably be the thing that costs us, Dan. Because I do look at it in this moment in time, and I do actually think that we've lost 2 games. We're not madly off of it at this moment in time. I think that we're 4 points off of what we was going to be at this stage last season or whatever. But if we actually picked up performances and picked up wins, we ain't far off what we were last season, and that's the thing that I think that we've got to take comfort from. But I will say, whatever we look at it and all that, Liverpool are on an unbelievable run at this moment in time. An unbelievable run. Now we done that a couple of years ago. We couldn't maintain it. If they maintain it, fair play to them. But if they don't maintain it, that is where Arsenal have got to be ready and ready to pounce. At this moment in time, you would actually say that Chelsea are ready to pounce. I'm not so sure you would actually say Arsenal are, Dan. I'm not convinced at this moment in time that we can maintain I think we've got to get 10 wins on the bounce. I don't think we're good enough to do that. I don't. And I think that managers got to take the blame for that, because as what we turn around and say with him, he does make these funny decisions every now and then, which cost us. And I do think that a couple of those ones are costing us. And I do say this, Dan, I really do say this, that eventually there's going to be a conversation. Is it because the manager is not ruthless enough?
Yeah, I think that is fair. Like you said it earlier about being ruthless. Before I continue, big up to Lee Gunner, man, who sent the people over from his stream. Really appreciate that, Lee. Thank you so much, bruv. Appreciate that, mate, and appreciate you all for coming over. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe as well on the way in. Thank you so much. And big up to you all. Look, it's an interesting convo what you said there, Lee, about the manager being ruthless, because I think there's been times where he has been ruthless, but there's been times where I didn't expect him to be ruthless. I don't know if I've said that right. Like, he's been ruthless when I never thought he would, and when the times I need him to be, he ain't been. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
Like,
I
in
get
terms
that.
of
I
like
get that.
players, like leaving players, losing players, selling players. When I need him to be ruthless on the pitch, he hasn't been. And when I'm kind of like, will you be ruthless with that decision? And then Ramsdale's out the door, and I'm like, oh, I didn't expect you to be ruthless there, but I kind of think you should be ruthless in this position or that position. Kind of like, I don't know. He sees where the team and the club should be ruthless a different way where I see it. If that makes sense, brother. I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
any sense.
I get that. And listen, I had an unbelievable conversation with Kenny Ken. Big up to Kenny Ken.
Yeah, I love Kenny.
You know, about Mikel. He's, you know, why he believes he's not the man for the job, and put out a lot of reasons and reasons that we had a good debate about it, like, you know, and you know, the things that he was saying, I couldn't turn around and go, oh, you're being stupid, or you're being this, or you're being that. They were valid points. Valid points.
But that's the thing, Lee. Just quickly, you don't do that, but there are a section of the fan base that do that with Kenny and with myself and with some others, and they're like, "Well," and they get really very heated and angry about it. When I don't mind, because let me give you an example. If somebody come up to me and said, "I think Mikel Arteta is great," I know you don't like him, Dan, but I don't think he's going to take us across the line. But I think he's the best manager we've ever had. He is a phenomenal person. He loves the club. You can see everything he's doing is absolutely right. I won't scream back in his face, call him a loser and an idiot, and say you're absolutely
No.
deluded. But when you sometimes get that, and then I might say, I didn't think Arteta would have us challenge him. I think he's done great, but I don't think he's the man to take us across the line. Why do people go, that's out of all, that's unbelievable? What do you want? And they lose their heads about it. I can't understand that, me, because I don't think what we're saying there is outrageous at all.
No, I don't think it is. Listen, it's a perfectly good question. You know, if I had a pound at the moment, wherever I go, you know, I was in the gym the other day, like, you know what I mean? First thing someone said, like, all right, Lee, if you don't win a trophy this season, you've got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to have a pound for every time that I get asked that question. And it's a valid question. One that I can't answer. One I don't want to answer, if I'll be really honest, at this moment in time. But I see what people say. I think the game against Fulham, right? That game is a perfect handbook for the likes of Kenny Ken about Mikel Arteta. If you want to, why Arsenal not going to get over the line? Fulham away under Mikel Arteta is the blueprint book. You know what I mean? There's your holy Bible for all the people that want him out. For that reason, it was there in, you know what I mean? And I get that. I get it, Dan, you know, and I'm coming out there. You can't argue with it because they're going to come out with the same things that I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, now I sit down after a couple of days and you know, can Arsenal still win the league? Yes, they can. But, you know, before Sunday, I'm saying we have to win that game. And what I believe and what I'm saying about Mikel Arteta, where I've got doubts about Mikel Arteta can he get us over the line? I'm still in the camp of hoping that he can be. But I think that when Liverpool don't play or they lose and you're going next, you have to win that game. As a manager, as a football team, as a club, you have to win that game. And he didn't. And there's a problem, like, you know. Now it's going to come up again, maybe not this week, but in 2 or 3 weeks' time, Liverpool might slip up and we're going next. He has to win that game. If he doesn't, Dan, that's when the questions and rightly come in, because you're then looking at it and going, the pressure's on. This is what good managers and good teams do. They find a way. Now, looking at it, that doesn't mean to say Pep was in the same position and he didn't do it. You know what I mean? And he's a serial winner, but he didn't do it. Chelsea did bit of an helping hand from Tottenham, by the way, but they did. You know what I mean? Like, no, let's be really honest about it, Dan.
No,
I didn't
it's
see
true,
any Fulham players doing rash tackles and throwing themselves at. I didn't see that. I see a well-disciplined, performance from Fulham. You know what I mean? Like, I see Southampton the other week throwing goals in from their goalkeeper and things like that. I didn't see Fulham doing that. So I give Fulham a lot of credit for the way they played, but you have to find a way. And we've been, like fortunate enough to see teams win titles. And there's been games, Dan, Portsmouth away, I can remember. 1-0 down, didn't play well, but found a way to win it, come back 1-3-1, I think. Rayos, I know, equalised. But you can pinpoint games like that. A point when we was at Anfield, we was fifth in the league at Anfield going into the game. If you remember it, 2001, 2002, just before Christmas, fifth in the league we were, Liverpool were top. We get Van Bronckhorst sent off at 0-0. Wow. When got a penalty, went 2-0 up. Do you remember, like Henry and Perez scored no, I think Lundberg. Perez done all the jinx and Lundberg put it in. Right. I think they scored with about 10 minutes to go and we hang on 2-1. Key moments. I want to see a key moment from this team and from Arteta, like, and I felt that Sunday was a key moment in the season. And I think he failed. So when people like Kenny Ken say all this, and other people, yourself as well, you know what I mean? You've got your doubts. You say that. I ain't going to come back and go, you're deluded, you're this and you're that, and have a go at you, because you've only got to open your eyes and see what happened on Sunday. Now, Arsenal are capable of going on a win of 10 games and all that. I know that we can, because we've done it. But I still think there's an Aston Villa around the corner, or a Fulham around the corner, and they've got to prove that ain't out there, Dan. And that's the big fear for me. So when people say this, and Kenny Ken is a great guy, and he done everything he could to convince me, but he hasn't at this moment in time. And
look, I think when you look at it, a lot of people say to me, like, "Are you out? Are you in?" I think half the time they're doing the oaky cake with these people. Like I have said the same thing in May. If he wins me a trophy, I am more than happy to celebrate it and praise him. But I have my doubts that he can get us across the line. That's all it is. I can't stand it. People say to me, "Oh, you hate the manager, don't you? You can't stand him." That's not true. I don't know the geezer. I ain't got a clue about Arteta. And if he's doing the best for Arsenal, which I truly believe he is, by the way, Lee, I don't think Mikel Arteta is messing up this on purpose. I think he's trying to do the best for Arsenal. That's a different question. Do you think he's good enough? Is completely different. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Like, I do see what you mean. It's just
a comment. Doing his best,
A comment just come through. I don't know. It's saying, like, so how many more excuses you're going to make for failure? Right? Do you honestly believe that Mikel's failed? I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's failed. If he was to leave tomorrow, he's not failed. He's been a very, he's done very, very well for us to get us to certain place in the thing. You know what I mean? Like, failing is for me getting relegated or coming in like the bottom half of the table and all that. Like, when you're failing, when you're getting into the top four on a consistent basis, it's not failure. It's not winning trophies. There's a difference between failure and winning trophies. And I think,
I think if you use the word success, you can't say yes because we haven't won anything, right? But when you look at, say we haven't won anything, everyone goes on about the FA Cup. So fair enough.
No, forget about that. We're talking over the last 3 years. The last 3 years is when it's happened for Arsenal. It's, do you think that the last 2 years have been a failure?
I would disagree with you and say that it has been a failure because I can't see the opposite to that is success.
Right, yeah. But this is a thin line, isn't it? Like,
depends what it is. If his aim was to get us challenging, then he's succeeded. But if his aim was to win the title, he's failed. That's what it is.
Was that the aim 2-3 years ago to win the league?
Well, no, it weren't 3 years ago. We're trying to get in the Champions League. Yeah.
I think also you have to say that you know, when you go a whole season, you go from January to May and drop 5 points, right? I don't think that's a failure. When a team goes from September, from December to May, dropping just 2 points, and that 2 points was against you away from home, I don't see that as a failure. I see that a lot of good things about it. I don't think it's as you're rightly saying, it's successful because the ultimate is to win the title.
Yeah.
Now to win the title, you've got a challenge. You've got to be there and thereabouts. So failure is if you're come February, you're not in the mix. That's failure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think if you're in the mix in April, May, that's failure. You've give it a good go, but it's not what you want, but it's not a failure. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're looking at it as a failure, then you've got to sack 21 managers every year because only one can win it. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, you're a failure. If Pep doesn't win the league this year, is he a failure?
I don't know why that just got me that.
But it's true though, isn't it? Like, I mean, like, is Ange a failure at Tottenham at this moment in time?
Oh, mate, I would have enough of him. I'll tell you this now. If I was Tottenham, I want him out. Would you?
Yeah.
Awful.
But we've been there with Mikel Arteta. I don't know if it's as bad as or as not. I don't know.
He was lucky though, Arteta. I'll tell you that now.
Oh, listen,
we both said it for a long time. How lucky
100%.
Because he was lucky to keep his job, in my opinion. A couple of times.
100%. I mean, I've always said that he's a very, very lucky manager. And I'm not in this boat. People keep saying to me, deluded and excuse. If I don't think Arteta, like if Arsenal were to lose tomorrow or drop points against Crystal Palace and they drop points against Brentford, which by the way are two very, very difficult games. You know what I mean? Like I can be easily, you know what I mean? It's on the eye for me. I'm not convinced that Mikel, at this moment in time, if you was to say to me, put my balls on this table now, and there's a knife, I'm going to chop your nuts off. If you think that Mikel's going to win the league, I'm putting my nuts back in my pants. Thank you very much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not putting, I'm not 100% sure that he is good enough. I'll be honest with that because of what happened at Fulham last week, games like that. So I don't know at this moment in time. I'm going to find out by the end of May if we are good enough, and he is good enough. And we'll know.
That's why I keep saying it. Like,
yeah,
May,
I know you do.
Are you in or are you out? In May, I will tell you because in May I have said that I will happily wait until May to see if we win a trophy, and if we don't win a trophy, then I'll want him out.
He should win a trophy with the team we've got.
100%.
Our 11 is better. I think our 11, our best side, and I think we proved that at Man City this year. I think we're better than Man City now. I think we are.
Well, we are this year. We should be. We should not be.
I think that we are. I don't know if this team's better than Liverpool at this moment in time. But listen, we play. Let's take on Liverpool at Anfield without their back four. Let's take all of their back four out, right? And like we get one of their midfielders playing right back, and see if we can beat them. Did Saka play that game? I don't know if did Saka play against them? I think he did. But let's see if we can.
Saka was our best player. It was a brilliant goal, wasn't it, from him? But when you look at who we did have out, that is equivalent of having Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah out. I would say, if you took those three players out and we went to Anfield, I think we win.
I'd be disappointed.
That's why, honestly, I would. Hey,
I'd be disappointed if we didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'll tell you
he's
this
out
now.
as
I'll be
well.
disappointed. I'll be disappointed if Liverpool and Chelsea finish above us. I will. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't say that. Liverpool, brilliant side." Yeah, I didn't say they were crap, did I? But we should be finishing above them when a new manager, who we've been told needs a lot of time and phases, walks in and starts smashing tea. Another manager who's come from Leicester finishes above us. Come on, man.
Well,
Like, we
I'll
can't
go
be.
on the one with Chelsea. I understand that a little bit about Chelsea and people going on about that, but I'm going to give you two scenarios about this. Like, Liverpool were in the title race and going into the game at the Emirates, they were 5 points clear with us with the team that they had. Right, so they was always decent. You know what I mean? Like, and if the league started in January of last season, I know it's a crap scenario. Who would have come first? Who would have come second? Who would have come third? And who would have come fourth? Right? And do you know who would have come fourth?
Chelsea or Villa?
Chelsea. So Chelsea were on the up, and then they've changed the manager, and he's been good enough to sort out a few of the things that the issues are going there. Do you know, like Chelsea, I think only lost a couple of games last season. One was against, they got smashed by us. Other than that, they was on a 10-game unbeaten run or something. Beat a lot of good teams along the way. So I get what you're saying, but like let's not believe that this Liverpool team were crap. Up until
No.
a month before the end of the season, they were favourites to win the league then. No one turned around and said they bottled it and they pulled out of it in. Do you remember that? Do you remember we lost to Aston Villa? They lost to Crystal Palace at home that day. And then they went and lost to Liverpool. Went and lost to Everton. And then they lost to someone else and they'd gone. But everybody turned around and called Arsenal bottle jobs and all that. And they had world-class players in their team that have won titles. So I get what everybody's going to say on that, but I don't think it's a disgrace that Liverpool are a good side. But at the end of the day, they've rode their luck a little bit as well. They've had a little bit of luck along the way. And but at this moment in time, instead of slagging off Arsenal, I'm at this moment saying, well, well done, Liverpool. Can you continue it? Can you continue it? And at the end of the day, if they do continue it, you have to say fair play to them. Fair play to them. That's how I see it.
I think they deserve a hell of a lot of credit, by the way. I think a lot of people have right. Oh, they'll boll it. They'll boll it. They'll throw it away. They'll throw it away. And I'm thinking, when then? Because I've got to be real, bruv. I'm going to do something now. I'm going to read out their next few games, and I'm going to tell you when you think they're going to lose their games. Right? Just say when you. I'm going to read out the games. Just say stop when you think they're going to drop points. All right?
Okay. Yep.
Liverpool at home against Fulham tomorrow. You think they're going to win that?
Yep.
All right. Southampton in the Carabao Cup. Tottenham in the semi-final. Yeah, that in the Carabao Cup. Yeah. Tottenham at Spurs. Anfield versus Leicester. West Ham away. Manchester United at Anfield.
Yes.
Really? You think they'll drop points there?
That's the sort of game, yeah. I think Man United would stifle. If they stifle them, they'd be a little bit more organised with that defensive thing against them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get a draw.
So in their next 5 games, you think they will drop points, and you think it'll be Man United? Okay. Let me just continue because the reason I wanted to, because I agree that is because Man United is different to it. Even if they're playing crap, it's a derby. It's different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's a different game. Yeah, I'll go along with that.
But I would be more inclined with the next 2, and you might laugh at these next 2 because they're not as big clubs as you might think. Nottingham Forest and Brentford away. I think that's 2 hard games,
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. That's 2 very, very difficult games.
Because Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, I never ever write Forest off because they've got unbelievable atmospheres, horrible place to go, as we know. And Brentford ain't lost at home yet. Brentford are unbeaten at home. They've lost awfully away. Absolutely terrible, apparently. But they score goals at home. That's going to be hard for us in the next couple of weeks.
Arsenal cannot afford to drop points there if they do that. You know what I mean? That's a place, Dan, that's a place we've got to go and win. And then you're dead right. Liverpool might not go there and win. So that's that. You know, I mean, Arsenal have got to a difficult game against Palace. You know what I mean? Like they've got to go and win those games. Now, if you look at our run is a little bit trickier because it's got Crystal Palace away and Brentford away. But come on, Dan, if you're going to win this league and challenge Liverpool as the way they are and Chelsea, you have to win those games. You can't keep drawing games and then saying, oh, no, we're still in it. You have got to be ruthless in the next few games. And I'll tell you what else Arsenal have got to do, Dan. The last time I looked, right, and this is saying that I would bring up with Mikel as one of the minuses against him, right? The last time I looked, the game was 90 minutes, 2 halves, right? We're only playing 1 half at the minute. Waste a half against Manchester United. Wasted a half against Fulham because we didn't turn up, right? You know what I mean? You got when you're in a title race and you're doing what you've got to do, you can't turn up for 45 minutes. You've got to play in both halves. Haven't done that in the last couple of games. Got to be at it. Got to be at it every single time. And at the end of the day, listen. And another thing, before I know we're saying that realistically, you're looking at Man United. Liverpool could drop points against Fulham or whatever. This and if it was as straightforward as we just said it, we'd be very, very rich men because we go down to bookies every day and go, do you know what? Liverpool winning this one, we're winning this one, they're winning that. You never know. But the one thing you've got to do is if Liverpool slip up, Dan, it's no good us not being there. We have to be there. That is why Saturday for me, Sunday was a big nail in Arteta for me. Win that game, it's 4 points. Fulham draw, say, with Liverpool. Right? 3 points, down to 2 points. Still got the game in hand, but forget about that. They then go to Tottenham, draw that game. 2 points, down to 1. Different game.
Yeah, you're right.
Different game. Right. But they've not played, you knew on that Sunday that Liverpool were not picking up any points over the weekend. You don't know. This weekend, they might pick up 3, they might pick up 1. They might not pick up any. We don't know. When we walked through that turnstiles at Craven Cottage, when those players walked onto that pitch, they knew if they performed, they would be 4 points behind Fulham. And they didn't. And for 1 half, they was piss poor on the manager. I'm sorry. That has got to be done, And that, for me, is the big frustration. And that's why I'll never go mad about the game on Wednesday, because Sunday was a missed opportunity for me. Opportunity.
It really was, man. It really was. Look, before we get predictions for tomorrow, I'm going to throw a couple of questions that we've got here and a super chat. Let's do the super chat first from Suge. Big up to you, my bro. Thank you so much for the memberships as well. Having left-footed players in Lewis Skelly and Marino who can overlap, Martinelli's performance improved compared to previous games. Totally agree. In terms of Partey, I think we may end up leaving in January or the summer. Now, I was going to bring this up, actually, because there are a couple of suggestions of Arsenal transfer rumours, which are going to start picking up, by the way. So in the next few weeks, it opens. According to Transfer News Live on Twitter and quite a few sources through some of the tabloids, Arsenal are in danger of losing Thomas Partey for nothing in the summer. There are rumours that we're trying to sort out a contract, though, so I'm not too sure about that one, to be fair. But big up to you, Suge. Totally agree about the left-hand side, mate. We said it earlier.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
That is bang on for me. This is an interesting one from AFC. Always says, question to Dan and Lee, who is the best partnership in the defence for Arsenal? Is it Adams and Bold, Campbell and Toure, or Saliba and Gabriel? He thinks it's Adams and Bold.
Well, Adams and Bold won a couple of titles. So did Campbell and Toure. I think the best two is Saliba and Gabriel. I think Adams was outstanding player, but I don't think he was better than Saliba at his age. I really don't. But Adams and Bold at this moment in time, Dan. I've got to say that, like, you know what I mean? I think that individually, it would probably be Saliba and Gabriel. I think Sol Campbell was unbelievable player. I don't think Tory was great. I think he was a good. I think probably like Keown would have to come into that mix as well. Oh, that's bloody hard, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
Isn't it hard? I'm going Adams and Bold.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to go with that as well. Like, you know what I mean? But I do think that Saliba and Gabriel are individually better than them. If that makes sense.
Well, I think it's hard to compare Gabriel and Saliba. They're the ones I can't pick because they've only just started to Arsenal career journey. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's Toure and Campbell or Adams and Bold. It's one.
Yeah, I think you're going on longevity and trophies and all that. Yeah,
of course, mate. Yeah, it's what they've done at the moment. These guys might. I hope they go on to win more than them. You know what I mean? But I just I can't pick any of those two over the others. If I'm honest with you, I did want to bring this up because Leo, I'll call you Leo. Who do Dan Potts think will get us over the line? I get this quite a lot. Who is there out there? There's no one out there. Nobody out there. Nobody can do what is it? And then Liverpool and Man United have gone and squashed all that by saying we can go and take the Sporting Lisbon manager and we'll go and get the final manager. And now nobody wants Jurgen Klopp or Ten Hag back, do they? So, Man United were like, well, there's no one better than Ten Hag out there. Well, they've gone and got Ruben Amorim and they're happy now. Oh, there's no one better than Klopp and Slot's top of the league and top of the Champions League group. So, unfortunately, there are people out there. And if Mikel can't do it, there will be another manager. And do you know what, Lee? If we get another manager, and he might not be the man either. And you might have to get rid of him.
Do you know what?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? He might not be the manager, but it might be a manager that comes in and just a couple of little different ideas, a couple of different tweaks here that like what Slot's done, then that could be all the difference. Different talk, different tactic, you know what I mean? So when people go, there ain't no one else, I can't stand that narrative. You know
I'll tell you what I'll do, because Leo has said names, please. I'm going to give you some names, and then I want you to watch the chat, because what the chat will do is they'll go, we don't want him, I can't get him, and they'll tell me why he's not the man. So I'll tell you what, I'll say some names of that people that I think you'd like, and then I would like you to tell me the names, Leo, who you would like. Arteta's just been sacked, it's just been announced. Who do you want? Because this is the thing, he ain't going to be here for 50 years, this man.
No, he's not
going to be here for 50 years. We're going to have to replace him at some stage. So if I say Carlo Ancelotti, he's washed. What he did at Everton. If I say Simone Inzaghi, he's over in the Italian league. It's easy. If I say Xabi Alonso, look where he is now. He's fourth in the league. And do you know what? If all three of them come and did what Arteta's done in the last 5, I'll be calling him out as well because it ain't good enough. We need to be winning trophies. That's where I'm at, Lee. Sorry, I'm a winner. I want to win stuff. This ain't about a journey for me. This ain't about, give it 5 years. Look at these brilliantly young players. Ain't going to be here in a few years and we don't win anything, they leave. But look how brilliant it is for now. Fucking live something, man. Get some silverware up there. Still waiting, Leo, for who you want. Let me know, Leo, who you want in the chat. Please, let me know who your manager is if Arteta goes tonight. Because they won't tell me. They'll just sit there. There ain't nobody better. There ain't nobody to take Arsenal forward. Arsenal may as well fold if Arteta gets sacked. Load of crap.
I want Tony Pulis.
What a legend. I want Tony Pulis. That's class. You know what? There's a quality question here. I was actually going to ask you a question.
Leo's come back with Klopp.
Klopp. Is that who he wants? Klopp.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. You can't argue that.
That's a great shout. There you go. I'd take Klopp 100%. So there we go. There are people out there. Leo has gone quiet. There's another Leo just answered. Anyway, I had a question here, which was from another Leo, actually. And I was going to ask something similar. And I think this is a really good shout. Here we go. If you had to predict the season, where do you think we'll finish? And what trophy do you think we'll win, if any? I was going to ask you what trophy you think we're most likely to win this season. So it comes into this question as well. I think that's quite a nice question.
Call me deluded, call me an idiot, but I still think we'll win the Premier League.
I'm not going to call you deluded, mate. That's what you think, isn't it? That's you think Liverpool.
I still think that we're in with a chance. I think if Man City are 8 points clear of us like they were over the last couple of seasons, then no chance.
I think we will challenge right to the end. Be a few points off of it. I think we'll come second. And I think we'll win the Carabao Cup or the League Cup. And people will go, oh, I don't want that crap. I don't want that rubbish. I'm not calling it rubbish. I think that's an all right season if we win a trophy and we challenge till the end. Some people will disagree with that. I think it's a crap season. I don't think it is. If we win a trophy and we challenge till the end, it's better than what we've done in the last 5 years, isn't it? So that's what I will say we'll do. I think we'll win the League Cup. That's what I think. So that's what I will go with. The other question I've got
is that good enough? Is that good enough?
It is for me, but it ain't for everyone. It ain't for everyone. Some people don't want that. They want to win a Champions League or a Premier League or he gets sacked. That's up to them, isn't it? I would want a trophy and challenge is a bare minimum for me, I said. Bare minimum. I'd like more than that. Of course I would. Bloody hell. I want to win the Champions League over the Premier League. Some people don't. I want to win the Champions League or the Premier League or both if we want to be greedy. And if we can only win one, I want the Champions League. And then the order of priority is Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. So
I want one of the big ones. Come on, let's go. I want one of the big ones.
Yeah, of course we do. That's what I want, but I just don't think we will get there.
It probably ain't going to happen, but you know what I mean.
You got to believe, mate. You got to believe.
You got to believe. That's what we're there. We're fans. You got to believe. At the moment,
of course, mate.
We've lost 2 games this season. Who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? What can happen in the next few weeks? Like, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I like it. I like people predicting. It's all what it's about. Look, the last question before we do close because we have overrun. This is a really hard question, Lee. All right. One of these scenarios can happen for you. We're going to go a bit of a nostalgia one now for a bit of a laugh. Pick it up a bit. One of these scenarios can happen. Jens Lehmann does not get sent off in the Champions League final. You don't know the result at the end of it, but Jens Lehmann does not get sent off. Or in 2008, Eduardo does not break his leg.
Oh, damn.
One of those scenarios can happen. And then if Eduardo don't break his leg, you've got to predict would Arsenal have then gone on and won the league?
Well, I think they would have won that league that year. I really do. We drew at Birmingham. It was in the bloody...
But if Jens Lehmann don't get sent off, do we win the Champions League with 11 men? If Jens Lehmann don't get sent off, which one is more likely to happen? Win the league with Eduardo or win the Champions League one-off game?
I'm going to say that because it was his leg as well, and I think he would have been a wonderful player for. I think if he didn't have broke his leg that day, we might. If we didn't win it that year, we might have won it the next year. I thought he was a wonderful, wonderful goal scorer. What's a player, squad player he was that? Yeah, Eduardo for me. Eduardo, yeah.
So it's interesting because I would have gone with Lehmann because I think a one-off game with 11.
I know he's going to say the one-off game, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think we had them. I really think we had them, man. I mean, we had them nearly with 10. We just run out of steam, didn't we? Last 20 minutes.
We did. We did run out of steam. Henry missed. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, he missed 2 sitters like Jesus this week. Like, you know what I mean? There's 2 1-on-1s.
He did miss sitters, man. That's a hard question, though, isn't it? Bloody hard.
It's a very hard question, like, you know what I mean? But
horrible, isn't it?
Horrible. That because
I would go with. I would go
just when I thought we was winning that Champions League, they scored.
Oh God, that was horrible, wasn't it?
And then once they scored, you knew it had finished. It was gone. And I was convinced that we was the best. We was on a roll up until that Birmingham game that day. You know what I mean? We should have won it. It was never a penalty, neither. But if we could have come out with that with 2-1, we might have still gone on and won it. But I think that everything that happened that day just
destroyed us.
Destroyed us, yeah.
I remember that so vivid. I remember both so vividly, and I was a lot younger at the time. I mean, the Champions League one, I actually physically felt sick. I would rather have Lehmann have just let that go. I'd rather have gone 1-0 down than have to have Lehmann.
Yes, I would have liked that day, like, you know what I mean, gone 1-0 down with 10 men. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I said that all along.
And Eduardo's leg, it's just awful that was. And how the hell that's a penalty? I never know in my life. That was never a penalty. But anyway, last thing to do is predictions. I've gone Arsenal 2-0 tomorrow. What are you saying, Lee?
I'm going to go big. I've said 2-0. If 2-0, but if we score early, 4. You know what I mean? Come on, Tottenham beat these 4-0 or 5-0, wasn't it?
Can't even remember now. Can't even remember. But look, we need to win. We need
to win. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to win this game. It's not going to be easy, I don't think, because they're going to make it hard for us, like, you know. But I think that we will win the Kevin Campbell derby tomorrow. 2-0. I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. All right, sweet. Well, I'll go 2-0. Listen, been a pleasure, people. Thank you so much for your comments. Thanks for your chats. Thanks for your super chats. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks so much to Suj as well for super chat and for gifting those memberships. Me and Lee will be back, hopefully with 3 points, and we will see you next time. Take it easy, people. We're out of here.